And we're live. Hey, welcome everybody. It's the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. Look at me. Fancy.
Captain Fashion here.
That's right. Wearing a jacket because of last week's show when I was saying, oh, it's not that fresh. You know, we're not looking very professional on the show. Adding a level of professionalism to the YouTube pre-show, I'm wearing a jacket and a Yuppie t-shirt underneath.
Highly professional.
Very professional. I'm impressed with myself. So that's enough, right?
I'm fine with my arms being out. I think that's good. I think it's very professional.
Guns.
Yeah.
Monster over here.
I'm happy with myself.
Yeah. I'm happy too, John. I'm happy as well. WWE's not making me very happy lately.
You're not making a lot of people happy on Twitter either.
Yeah, I'm upsetting people. I'm really upsetting a lot of people on Twitter lately. I'm taking a lot of heat. People are becoming big Miz fans. Big Seth Rollins fans are after me. Too bad. What can I say? I'm still not impressed by their performance.
Was it mainly that match that people were upset about, or is there something else? Roman Reigns? No, there's no Roman Reigns fans that are upset.
Are there Roman Reigns fans?
After that main event of Backlash, it's hard to be one, I think.
Are there any Roman Reigns fans left?
It's going to be tough. That main event was really rough.
I know we have a friend, Antoinette, who's always listening. She's a Roman Reigns fan. He's got a lot of female fans. Male fans. Most dudes I talk to, not so into Roman. And I think the female fans are really few and far between. People were walking out after Backlash. Or before Backlash even ended, right? And there she is checking in. She said it was a bad day on Monday. What happened Monday?
Oh, because Roman didn't win the qualifier.
Right. Finn won, right?
Finn won.
Braun won a qualifier too, but Finn won that match. It was a triple threat with Roman and, was it Sammy?
Yeah, and more than likely, it looks like it's going to be Roman versus Jinder now, because Jinder cost Roman the match, right? I know you're really happy about this, aren't you? Like Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal.
Are you kidding me? They're actually going to do that?
I think so. It looks like it.
Oof. Money in the Bank, right?
Probably, yeah, because Roman's not going to be in the Money in the Bank match, right? And more than likely, Jinder's not going to make it, so...
Okay, I want to cover this on the main, because this may be the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah, right. You could fall Jinder, I think. That's about it.
I read a thing where Vince is not happy. Vince was like, whoa, this is New Jersey. This is the New York market. People are walking out on Roman Reigns. Maybe we need to move where we're going here.
Well, there was the issue that the WWE Championship match should have been the main event, right? And people already saw the title match, so what was there left to stay for? A match that didn't really mean much. So I understand why people left. Plus, Samoa Joe just kept using a rest hold all the time. I mean, it's really boring to watch that.
Why was that match so bad? You know? Like, it was bad. What's up, Wally?
That's cool.
Wally's watching.
I think there's a lot of reasons. The fact that I think you saw a lot better performances already. The fact that nothing was on the line. The fact that one was going to Raw, one was going to SmackDown. So it just felt like it was kind of pointless. And it just felt like it was endless rest hold after rest hold. There was no action. Like, if at least there was some excitement to the match. It started off exciting. I think Roman went through a table to start it.
Yeah.
And then it's just sleeper, modified sleeper, and that's it. Then comeback finish, which you knew what was going to happen.
It was very just elementary, you know? It was very simple.
It wasn't a main event, unfortunately. I mean, maybe in terms of the names, yes, but the match, no.
What do you think about the booking of the main event, though? The fact that it was the show closer. And people are saying, well, it shouldn't have been. It should have been the WWE Championship match. But in the WWE Championship match, you had a non-finish.
Right.
You had two guys kicking each other in the balls, falling over, and not being able to stand up to the count of 10, and that's how the match ended.
Right.
So, is that the way you want to end a pay-per-view? Would that have been better? I don't think it would have been. Like, a lot of people were saying Roman should not have main evented, it shouldn't have been the last match on the card. Fine. Then this show should have been main evented by what? Like, if Roman doesn't close the show, what does?
I'm sure a lot of people would say Seth Rollins versus The Miz should have been the main event, judging off everyone's reaction towards you in that match.
Well, maybe it should have been.
Maybe.
But again, that's a match where I didn't think it was particularly great. It did get a great reaction from people on the internet. People seemed to really go crazy for that match. People were saying, oh, Miz is the new AJ Styles or something now, you know? People were just saying crazy stuff. Saying Seth Rollins is the second coming of Shawn Michaels, you know?
He does do the super kick now. He does, like, tune up the band. I don't know if you notice he does that now. Like.
Yeah, well, he's not that guy, okay? He's not that guy. But that match would not have got that reaction had it been in the main event. If that match was the main event, people would have been like, why was that the main event? Why was the Intercontinental title match the main event? A match where Seth Rollins is on Raw, going in, you know he's going to defend and retain the championship because Miz is on SmackDown. You knew the result to that match before it ever happened. And, like, that was my main problem with it. At no point did I believe Miz was going to take the Intercontinental title and bring it to SmackDown. Not a single time. And that's what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to make me believe that Miz was maybe going to take the title from Seth. And they failed to do that. And that's why I was not impressed with that match. It was like, okay. It was long. But just because you're in the ring for a long time doesn't mean you're having a good match. Just because you cut a long promo doesn't mean it's a good promo.
But even when he hit his finisher for the second time in a row, like, you didn't think he was going to win there?
No.
Wow, okay. Oh, yeah. Wow, he hit the finish twice and then he kicks out? That's a lot. I understand that pushing Seth Rollins.
It's like a lot of false finishes, you know, and I know what that's designed to do. Maybe I've watched too much wrestling and I'm just like, oh, really? But you gotta wake up pretty early to fool me, you know? Like, you really gotta bring it. And those guys, they didn't bring it for me.
Again, I think it was a difficult situation where you had a four-way ladder match you saw before, and then he had a great match, I thought, with Finn on Raw. And for him and The Miz to go out there and have that caliber of match, it just wasn't possible. I think they still had a good match because it was the opening match, it was the first match people saw, and I think people were going to like it regardless.
Yeah, and that's why it's got that reaction. Seeing comments here, somebody saying Ember Moon or Asuka should have been the main event. Ember Moon and Asuka are two of the most entertaining performers on the roster, and they weren't even on the card.
Did Asuka even wrestle this week at all? I don't think so.
No.
She had one of those selfie promos that sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot happened this week, really. I mean, you had some qualifying matches. Backlash was a huge letdown. But this is what happens when you have a 5-hour pay-per-view like the week before, and then you expect to have another big pay-per-view. It's a big letdown.
But the 5-hour pay-per-view the week before was also a big letdown. It was bad. The Greatest Royal Rumble was not a good show.
In terms of presentation, it was fantastic.
Yeah, okay.
And the Rumble match was fun.
It wasn't great. I preferred the Rumble, like the real Rumble this year.
Okay.
I thought the actual Rumble was better. We didn't have a better Rumble match this year than the Women's Rumble. That was amazing. The Women's Rumble at the Royal Rumble this year was one of the best Royal Rumbles in the history of the match. And in Saudi Arabia, of course, couldn't have been possible, right?
Well, again, that was the first time you ever saw that, so that's why it kind of made it special. And you saw a lot of people you haven't seen in years.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, but that was a special kind of thing. So.
I saw that they had it on TV recently on the network, and I was watching it again. It was great, man. It was amazing. That match did not get enough credit. Just the names that were out there. The legends in the ring at the same time. It was crazy.
That was a cool special moment. Thing is, like, to do it again next year, I don't know if you could make it as special. I mean, sure, you just throw them back in there again. I don't know if it'll be as good.
I don't know either. But this one was good. So, whatever. The point is, the Rumble was good. WrestleMania wasn't that good.
So.
And since then, things have been terrible.
Doesn't this usually happen, though? Like, after WrestleMania, it's kind of a downward fall. Money in the Bank kind of goes up a bit, and then downwards up to SummerSlam. And then downwards again, pretty much until the end of the year.
Wally says he'd love to see a Legends-only Rumble. I would not mind seeing that either. That would be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I don't know if a lot of them could actually get in a ring now, but...
Well, you get ones that could.
Yeah, but you'd be greedy. You'd want Hogan and... Yeah, see?
Well, Hogan wins.
Hogan wins.
Of course Hogan wins. Hogan always wins. Come on, brother.
I don't know about Hogan winning. I don't know about Hogan showing up yet. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen right now, so...
Well, I know. I don't think it's gonna happen either.
Maybe next year.
Maybe not. Wally says Hogan wins. He's with me. Hogan wins, brother.
All right, well, fine. If you believe in Hogan, I don't believe in Hogan right now. So
I always believe in Hogan. I'm a Hulkamaniac. What are you talking about?
He's done a lot of bad things. Got to pay the price.
You got a good luck for your match on Saturday. Big Genesis.
Yeah, the big cage match, yeah.
Genesis.
In the MMA cage. It's going to be rough.
And you got a match in the MMA cage.
Second time I've been in that cage. I will be in this cage.
Yeah, that's cool. And you're wrestling a guy called Bruiser.
I've teamed with him before. I teamed with him last year.
Not Beer City Bruiser.
No.
Not Bruiser Brody. Not Dick the Bruiser. Just Bruiser.
And this is kind of like, if people remember TNA Lockdown, where every match is in a steel cage, every match is in the MMA cage. So not only am I wrestling Bruiser in a cage, Hannibal's wrestling Ming in a cage.
Ming, the Ming.
From WCW.
Haku.
Yeah.
Haku is still wrestling.
Yeah. Not full time, obviously, but...
How old is Haku?
Oof. He must be nearing his 60s now.
At least. His sons are pro wrestlers in Japan.
It's not going to be an easy match for him, too. Like, Hannibal's a monster.
I'm looking up how old Ming is. Yeah, Hannibal is, like, really rough. And isn't he kind of, like, kind of rough on guys sometimes, you know?
Can he shoot on people? Yeah. But Ming was notorious for that, too, right? So that's what makes this match fun.
Tonga Fifita is 59 years old.
Wow.
59. His sons all wrestle in Japan, though. Tama Tonga, Tonga Leo, and the other one. There's three of them. There's the big giant guy, then there's Tama, and then there's, the other one.
Fale?
No, Fale is not his son.
Oh.
Hold on. I'll find out. What are those guys' names? Hikuleo. Yeah, Hikuleo. Has New Japan ever had a Rumble is a question. Yeah, they have. They actually had a Rumble. It was the New Japan Rumble before Wrestle Kingdom this year in January.
And what did the winner get?
I don't know. Nothing?
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of New Japan, we should take care of some business. I know I promised a New Japan podcast, and it didn't happen. But I'm getting to it.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. Because next week, it will happen with the Phantom. Episode 2 of What's Phantom in Japan will drop next week. And it will be a New Japan podcast. myself, and the Green Phantom talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that's going to happen early next week. That is a guarantee, okay? When I guarantee things, that means it's guarantee going to happen. So we're going to do What's Fandom in Japan, episode 2 next week. We'll recap everything in New Japan and give you a little preview of Dominion, which is going to be sick because Jericho will wrestle Naito. Wally says the great pre-show has made up for it, for the lack of New Japan podcast this week. I do apologize, but things piled up. We weren't able to get it together with Phantom, so we're going to do it next week, and we'll recap everything that happened over the past few weeks there with all the road to Dontaku, and mostly the Dontaku matches, you know, the Tanahashi against Okada match where Okada retained the New Japan world title, the Will Ospreay and Kushida match, which was incredible, where Ospreay retained the junior light heavyweight title, or junior heavyweight title, and the other big match was, of course, Naito beating Suzuki and becoming the new IWGP Intercontinental Champion. And then we had all the stuff with Kenny Omega and the Bullet Club, Kenny and Cody, and Kenny had a match with Hangman that was incredible as well. Really some great matches happened over the past couple weeks in New Japan.
That's fine, but I want to hear about Chris Jericho apparently retweeted you like twice this week.
Yeah.
What happened exactly?
Yeah, Jericho retweeted me twice this week.
Why?
Because me and Jericho are like this. Jericho is a Wrestling Uncensored fan.
Okay.
He watches the show on YouTube. He listens to the podcast every week. He's a fan of ours, and we're a fan of his.
What did you do? What did you tweet?
Oh, I just mentioned how Jericho's beating on Naito was just savage, because Jericho beat up Naito on Dontaku. Naito was in a tag match with Los Ingobernables. He was celebrating a victory, and then Jericho jumped in. As Naito was leaving, Jericho was wearing a mask, kind of what he did to Rey Mysterio one time.
Yeah.
Where he was in the crowd, and he grabbed Naito, and he started beating him up, and he bloodied Naito. Naito was a mess.
He likes the bloody guys.
Yeah. And Jericho then just he beat him up severely. He beat up some young lions. He was slapping guys. He was swearing like crazy.
There were some F-bombs, apparently.
Did you see the Jericho, the post beating promo that he did as he's walking out of the arena?
I only heard about it.
It's amazing. You have to see it.
Okay.
I will show it to you. All right? Do not leave here without seeing it. It is
Great.
You could never do that in WWE, though. He's just swearing constantly. It's mostly F-bombs.
Wow.
It's great.
Cool.
So I talked about that. I said, oh, Jericho's beating on Naito was savage. I can't wait for the match. It's going to be great. Jericho retweeted me. And then Jericho had Daniel Bryan on his podcast this week. And I was listening to it, and it was fantastic. So I wanted to recommend it to people so they can go check it out. Because, you know, people ask me sometimes, what do I listen to? What podcasts I listen to?
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
What's that?
Make me some barbecue.
Why am I making you barbecue?
Because I'm hungry. Feed the beast.
All right,
Yeah.
well, that was a YouTube comment. I'm not feeding John. All right, I'm not doing that. But I recommended Jericho's podcast with Daniel Bryan because I was like, man, look, it's my two favorite wrestlers talking to each other. And Jericho retweeted that as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, me and Jericho, man.
Good week for you.
I'm on the list.
Not the bad list.
No, the good list.
Yeah.
I made the list. How about that? You have any news? Should we start the main show? We might have to cut off this pre-show. I know we got Wally and we got a bunch of viewers right now on YouTube. I feel bad cutting it off for you guys live, but you know, we got to save a little something for the podcast and the radio show, right?
And we'll be back next week. You know, just tune in again next week.
Oh, and I'll be back with Phantom. Not on YouTube, but we'll have a podcast next week. Wally's like, no, don't end the YouTube. I'm sorry, man. We got it at some point. Antoinette doesn't want us to either. But at some point we do, you know?
They wanted that extra hour, too, for Backlash. She didn't give it to them.
Yeah. Well, I had... Alright, they want to know about your upcoming match, so we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I had a Backlash show, which if you hadn't seen or hadn't heard, you can listen to it and you can watch it over at ringsidereport.net or on our YouTube channel right now. The Backlash show is on. That was me solo. And then tonight, of course, Ringside Report Radio. Like, we're very busy here, guys, right? Like, you know what's going on. Wally's like, Ringside Report later. Yeah, we got to do Ringside Report. We got to finish Wrestling Uncensored. This is just the pre-show here. Ringside Report is later on with Fred and Anthony. And then tomorrow, should I drop it?
Sure, yeah.
Do I do it?
Yeah, why not? They want it. They want something extra. Give them something extra.
You want something extra? All right, Wally and Antoinette and whoever's watching right now live on YouTube, you're getting a little bit extra. I'm going to drop the surprise that I was going to drop tonight on Ringside Report Radio, but I will tell you right now, big surprise, there will be a UFC 224 post-show live on YouTube, myself and Anthony D'Alessio with me. And I think Muscles Marco will be here too. So you get to see Muscles Marco.
It's amazing.
Anthony will be here. We're doing a show right after UFC 224 tomorrow night. Yeah, I see the excitement on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. AJ, Anthony will be here. Myself and Anthony, we've been talking about it. And it's official. Tomorrow night after UFC 224, Anthony and I will be live here on YouTube discussing the fights. We got Amanda Nunes taking on Raquel Pennington. We've got Vitor Belfort against Lyoto Machida. And we've got Kelvin Gastelum against Jacare, Ronaldo Jacare Souza. So yeah, no sleep for us. No rest for anybody. Wally, it's going to be like 7 a.m. when we do the post show tomorrow night for you out in Ireland. But yeah, we got extra content tomorrow after UFC 224. We got the preview show tonight with Anthony and Freddie, and then tomorrow live on YouTube and on ringsidereport.net we'll have UFC 224 post show. Antoinette says she wants to be part of a wrestling podcast in the future. Well, you can be. Maybe you can be. I think Antoinette's in Toronto or something. If she's ever in Montreal, come by the studio and you can meet Anthony. You can meet Muscles Marco. Antoinette says, yeah. Antoinette, if you want to bring us some coffee and you want to come to the studio, you're more than welcome. You can come meet Anthony and Fred. I mean, John's met Fred. John's met Anthony, too, and that's an experience, right?
For WrestleMania, that was something, yeah. Special. Marco Polo, that's amazing, though.
No, not Marco Polo. Muscles Marco.
Oh. That's too bad. You gotta get Marco down.
Antoinette, well, if you're in Montreal, hit us up or hit Anthony up on Twitter, and he will hook you up. Anthony is the guy. Anthony is like the producer. Hit Anthony up if you want to meet Anthony. Come to the studio, and he'll set it up. All right. So, no, it's not Marco Polo. Marco Polo is a different guy. You think it's it's two different. Bad. Did you think Muscles Marco was Marco Polo?
I thought so, yeah.
No, it's a different guy.
Oh man,
it's a different Marco. You don't know this?
I thought Marco was getting jacked. That's too bad.
No, well, actually, he has lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, but that's
a different guy.
Yeah.
No, Marco Polo is a guy that works at TSN 690.
Right.
And he helps us out from time to time. We thank him on Wrestling Uncensored, right?
Yeah.
But Muscles Marco is a different guy. He's Anthony's cousin.
Oh, okay.
And he just comes with Anthony every week.
Oh.
As our, security. Or whatever.
Entourage.
He's Anthony's bodyguard. But, not really. Because he's just Anthony's entourage. But he comes to the show every week. And he mans the phones for us now.
Oh, that's nice.
So if you call the show live, Ringside Report Radio, you hear from Muscles Marco. Wally wants to know, how do we get the wrestlers and fighters to say the name of the show? It's a secret. Well, when we interview them, we ask them to do it. And then they say yes. It's pretty simple.
Isn't Anthony, in charge of that now? Setting all that up?
Yeah, Anthony's becoming in charge of a lot more things. I'm putting Anthony in charge of everything. I want to be more kind of laid back and... because I got a lot of other stuff to concentrate on, Anthony's got to deal with the nuts and bolts, and I got to deal with the big picture, you know? I'm like Tony Soprano, and he's like Paulie Walnuts. You know what I mean? I'm the boss, and he's out there cracking skulls for me.
A great leader delegates. That's what you're doing.
Thank you. All right, we got to cut this thing, right?
You should, yeah. This is going really...
It's a very long pre-show. But we had to talk about your match tomorrow. So you're wrestling a guy. Tell us about the guy.
Bruiser, I've teamed with him before.
Yeah.
He's a bit older guy.
Bit older, 50s. In his 50s.
Yeah. But he's around from the area. So this is kind of like his hometown kind of thing. It's going to be a tough match.
And you're in where?
Brockville.
Brockville, Ontario.
Yeah, at the Brockville Memorial Center. It's not going to be easy.
What's the crowd like on a show like that?
It's a tough crowd, actually, because they're used to wrestling, and yet it's going to be an MMA cage. And you saw like what we did last year in the MMA cage. Like, it's a mix of wrestling and MMA. Some people like it. Apparently, they liked it enough that they brought it back. And some people are like, what the heck am I watching? It's a very brutal match because falling in that ring, it's very painful. Because it's not the same way you'd fall like in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, right?
You're not supposed to fall like that. And yet you have to try to do that. Also, that cage, man, that like I got some like scrapes and bruises from that, just like going against it, grinding against it. It's very unforgiving, that match. And plus, some guys, like we mentioned with Hannibal, some guys like to shoot on you, so you put yourself in a very dangerous situation. Hopefully, Bruiser's in a good mood, and it won't come to that, but it might come to that.
I think you can handle yourself, though. You said the guy's in his 50s.
Right. But it's also his hometown kind of thing. He might get kind of excited. And plus, you want to make things look good. I don't disagree with that. So, and you're in this kind of environment, it's not going to be an easy match.
Well, I wish you luck. I hope it all goes well, and we'll hear about it next week, right?
That's right.
And, yeah, shout out to I Am D. Lloyd. I see you commenting, saying I know you. I do know you. I mean, I don't know you. We've never met. But we talk on Twitter all the time, and I see that you're watching on YouTube. So shout out to you. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Antoinette and Wally and everybody else watching and commenting. It's been fun. This has maybe been the most fun, interactive YouTube pre-show that we've done, right?
See, it works. I know you didn't like it at first, but it's starting to work.
You know what I think makes it the best one ever? The fashion. I mean, look at this damn jacket I'm wearing.
Yeah, they just knew that was going to happen, I guess.
Yeah, they knew that I was going to be fashionable this week after what I talked about last week. Antoinette saying Toronto's getting SmackDown and Raw in August. Yeah, I saw that. Good for you, Toronto. You get everything else, so, like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
How many more pay-per-views are you getting, too?
Yeah, you're going to get WrestleMania again, too? Keep bragging, Toronto. I'm not impressed. I get it. You're Toronto. Like,
how about a takeover, you know?
Yeah, why don't you get NXT TakeOver and then a pay-per-view and then Raw and SmackDown? Didn't they already do that?
Yeah.
Survivor Series? What was it?
Yeah, it was Survivor Series.
Yeah. Oh, and Wally says announce it before it goes live in the future. That was a good idea, John. You previewed it before. Smart.
I have some good ideas sometimes.
Good thinking. See? I'm delegating. You're one of the soldiers. You're like my Silvio Dante, John.
Wow.
That's a good thing. You watch Sopranos, right?
I used to. Like, it's been a while since I've seen Sopranos.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, right? If I'm Tony Soprano and you're Silvio, that's a good spot for you.
Silvio didn't die, did he?
He didn't die at the end. He wasn't dead, but he was shot up pretty bad.
Okay. I can live with that.
Yeah. All right, we got to wrap this thing up. Thank everybody for watching. And I think they wanted to see the Vince voice, right?
Well, that's for the show, no?
Thanks, Antoinette. She says I look sharp. See?
Good. Good for you.
Yeah, we'll save the Vince voice for the show. I did get a request on Twitter to do the show in 40% Vince voice. We'll see if my throat can handle it. Quite frankly, I'm not sure if it can. Vince. See how it, like, embodies me? Like, see here? I'm like, Vince McMahon. You know?
Good luck. Good luck doing that for the whole show.
Okay. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks to the pre-show. And we'll we'll start the real show here. Okay.
Do it.
Okay. Whoop.